And with all this Yankee talk, it brings us to my favorite part of the show. It's time for the New York Yankees Mount Rushmore. So this one is interesting. We had another team scheduled for today, but there was a little bit of a miscommunication. And I have no idea who is on this list today. I avoided this list like the plague because I knew that we were going to have a great debate on this one. So let's start it off. David, who is your number one?
Well, the number one's easy. The number one, he's on a short list of the actual, like, he's considered probably the greatest player of all time. And it's straight up him and Barry Bonds. I don't.
And Ohtani.
Ohtani still has a lot more to do to get here. But Babe Ruth.
George Herman Babe Ruth, the great Bambino,
the Sultan of SWAT.
The Sultan of SWAT, the King of Crash. Everything that you ever wanted to know about baseball, all you got to do is look up Babe Ruth, and he was the face of a century. Not even for a decade, not even for a career. He is baseball.
Okay, I just got to say this. Babe Ruth, throw him out the window. One of his nicknames is Jidge, Jidge. What does that mean?
Jidge. It was like for George.
Jidge.
Yeah.
Jidge. But anyways, I clicked it, and it goes to a baseball reference page for baseball nicknames. Guess who's first?
The Aardvark?
Oh, the DA. I never even knew that existed. What?
By the way, since you bring that up real quick, I was at my job the other day, and somebody said DA, like an 18-year-old girl said DA, and we were looking around like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, it's an abbreviation. I'm like, for district attorney? And then one of the other girls that works with me, of course, who is in love with you, says for David Aardsma, apparently DA means dead ass. But yeah, they think about David Aardsma before they think about district attorneys. So yeah, way to go, DA.
There you go.
All right. Number 2 on the Yankees list. Who do we got?
Wait. A couple. I mean, do we need to talk about his numbers?
No. What do we need to say about Babe Ruth? He's the greatest player that ever lived in most people's minds.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And I mean, he's still leading in slugging, OPS plus, the ROPA, R bat plus. I don't even know what that is. R bat plus. Home run 714. A lot of people still think he's obviously number 2 to Hank Aaron. With the asterisk probably next to Barry Bonds. Incredible. Yada yada yada. Babe Ruth. Number 2. This is an incredible hard list. I put this up against anybody, but the Iron Horse Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig. I mean, what do you say about that guy? You know, he was the next face of the franchise. You know, when Ruth was getting older, it became Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse. You know, they named the disease after him, unfortunately. But yeah, what do you say about that guy, man? It was just amazing.
I don't even say that. He was so famous, the disease he had was given his name, right? Like, that's how famous he was and how devastating it was.
Yeah.
But two-time MVP, but again, I never thought MVP was until 32. Anyways, I mean, top everything in baseball. The Iron Horse, until Cal Ripken Jr. broke his record, was one of the most untouchable records of all time in the amount of games played. Amazing. 17 seasons, and it could have been a lot longer. Just such an amazing story of how he even got his first game, and he never looked back. I love it. And we watch the videos of him. He was a dude. Like, he was a horse. Like, Babe Ruth, but like, you watch Lou Gehrig, like, his shoulders and how broad he was. You just look at his hands. He looks like just a man.
I'm just glad that he didn't get the nickname Iron Horse when he was in the showers with the guys after the game. That makes me happy.
He was Iron Horse because he was a big boy. Well, maybe he got this one from being in the showers. Biscuit Pants.
Biscuit Pants. Well, maybe that's why he's the horse too. You know?
Will Rupin, and then the Crown Prince of SWAT or Columbia. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he was from Columbia University, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Who's your number 3, David?
My number 3, I'm going to go Jolton Joe DiMaggio.
Jolton Joe DiMaggio, the love of every single Italian that ever lived in New York, the love of the great Marilyn Monroe, the man
Yeah.
with the record for the most consecutive games with a hit. One short of 57, where he could have gotten a lot of money from the Heinz people. But
Right? That would have been pretty cool.
I think there was actually like a deal that was
Was
getting
it
ready.
really?
Yeah. I'm not 100% positive on that. But yeah, Joe DiMaggio, just Jolton Joe. What else do you got to say? Great, great, great ball player.
Yeah, what are you gonna say about it? 3-time MVP winner, and All-Star. All these guys at the Yankees, just the numbers are a little crazy. And he still, and this is the beautiful part about all these guys in this generation, he missed 3 seasons, literally his 28, 29, 30, which are well known to be your very best seasons of your baseball career to put in military service. And his numbers are legit regardless of all of that. His numbers are Hall of Fame worthy numbers regardless, but he would be on a tiny short list. Like, we consider him on a short list. He would actually statistically be on that short list if he had those 3 years. And this is crazy. I never thought this. 2,200 hits. 2,200 hits. He never had the 3. But it didn't matter. You just know how good he
Yeah.
was.
You just
It's
knew how great he was.
MVP 8, MVP 2, MVP 6, 1, 3, 1, 7, 19, 1, 2, 12, 9. Only 4 seasons of his career, he didn't get MVP votes. 3 of them because he was overseas, and one of them his very last year, he still, like, he was 36 his last year. Again, that was back in the day without performance enhancing anything, even like weight rooms.
Yeah.
Where 36, he would have still been playing the next year.
All right. Who's your final guy?
My final guy, James. These ones are tough, and we're gonna have a great conversation. I had to go to this guy because there's no doubt he is the greatest to ever do it, Mariano Rivera. Like, I can't. He's the best of all time, and so you can't disregard that.
No, you can't. And I would have put him on my Mount Rushmore, but the Yankees are so tough, and there's some guys that we're going to talk about in a minute that I can make cases for over some other guys. But yeah, Mariano, the best closer in the history of baseball. There's no question about it. He did it with one freaking pitch. I know that's air quotes, not exactly true, but yeah, cutter a lot of times, did it, and was just dominant year after year. There was never a lull. He never had like 2 or 3 years where he was and regained his form. He was great from the minute he was in baseball to the very end. And if you ask me, could he have played another 3 years? Probably could have. I can't deny this guy anything.
Most saves of all time, the most games finished of all time, ERA plus, but greatest of all time, and playoffs. I mean, Jesus, greatest playoff pitcher in history of Major League Baseball history. Whatever, how many times I want to say it. 5-time World Relief Pitcher of the Year, 5-time World Series champion, 13 times All-Star. I mean, he had so many times where he almost won Cy Young awards, and he was MVP voting as a reliever, as a closer, which is insane. And greatest reliever of all time. So there might be better players that have like actually play on the field every single day, but when you're the best to ever do what you did, you can't.
It's like me in softball.
If you don't like it, don't have the position.
All right. Who's your first man out?
First man out. This is where it got tough. I had to go with your god, Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle, the Mick, number 7, the man who would drink all night and still be one of the most dominating hitters of all time, and do it without apologizing. I love this man.
3-time MVP award winner. I mean, 20-time All-Star, Triple Crown, 7 World Series titles. There's nothing I can't say that he didn't do. That it was just, it was incredible. I kind of, first man out for the Yankees would be first man up for almost everybody.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like
He'd be the best player in most franchises. Typically, we have the guy who's on the team who could make the Mount Rushmore. I don't think there's anybody in the history or the future of baseball who can crack that Mount Rushmore. You could say Aaron Judge is a guy on the team right now that could make it, but how? How is it possible? What would he have to do to make this Mount Rushmore? Because I don't think it's possible.
continue what he's doing, just straight pace. If
For how
he
long?
the problem, the thing, you have to do it 3 times, 3 more times on this pace, and then I would say with this year, then 2 more years of almost adequate. I'm not expecting 70 home runs every year. I'm not expecting 58, 62 every year. But if he's in the mid 40s range for 2 more years after this year, and then has that really good positive decline, he's
Who's he knocking off? Who's he knocking off? You tell me that he can do it. And yes, he can do what he said. But how is he knocking anybody off? Who's he taking off the list?
To me, it would probably be maybe Lou Gehrig.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay. So you say that he can knock off Lou Gehrig, and I'm going to tell you that
he's already a 2-time MVP winner, Rookie of the Year. The numbers are going to blow some guys away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's just, God, why do you say that, James? Why do you argue with me like this?
Because there's a guy that's hasn't been mentioned that could be that is already better than Judge. It's not even possible. And let me bring you to Mr. Yogi Berra, the man who had 10 World Series, 3 MVPs, 18 All-Star appearances, and is in the Hall of Fame. And he didn't crack your list. Are you telling me that Aaron Judge is going to beat out Yogi Berra?
So
10 World Series.
Dude, I mean that's the number you're never going to be able to beat. Nobody will ever be able to beat that again in baseball history. From a numbers perspective, there are things that you're going to be able to beat them. They're just there are. He already has a higher batting average. OPS isn't even going to be close. Home runs, he is 28 away from beating him. RBIs, yes, he's just going to have to continue his career and he'll beat him. You're not going to be able to be Yogi Berra. There's no way anybody will ever be Yogi Berra again. But
how about
from an all-star standpoint, he's going to be close. From an MVP standpoint, he's going to win an MVP probably this year. He's going to tie him.
Okay. So
that's the thing.
But here's the thing. You look at Yogi Berra. Not only did he get MVPs, but look at how many MVP votes he got. In 50, MVP 3, then MVP 1, MVP 4, MVP 2, MVP 1, MVP 1, MVP 2. What?
Oh, absolutely. And that's looking at, and a lot of the reasons why he looked at it is because of how he was a captain of that team, how he led the team, not necessarily his numbers which were by no means to shy away from, but those are a Jeter type of number. That's why he's MVP so high all those times, because you kept looking at him going, he's the leader of the best team, not necessarily the best player on the best team. He's the leader of the best team, and he earned that respect behind that. And
all I'm saying is if you play 19 years and you're a catcher for most of them,
I'm not even disregarding nothing else. I mean, Whitey Ford didn't even get mentioned. The Yankees' best pitcher of all time doesn't even get mentioned.
We haven't even said Derek Jeter's name.